For my paper prototype, I tested the Canon SD1000. This paper prototype was used as a participatory design methodology with 3 participants who had no experience with the Canon SD1000. The participants were asked to complete 6 flows that represent a selection of both surface and deeply embedded features that test users' mental models of a digital camera. These flows consisted of taking a photo without the flash, setting the camera's time zone, setting the shooting mode for snow, taking a time-lapse video, playing back a video, and then finally deleting a video. In Task 1, participants were prompted that they are in a lecture and need to take a photo without the flash, so not to disturb the speaker. Participants quickly recognized the on-off switch, and then recognized that they were on the improper mode to take a photo. Two of the 3 recognized the directional pad and correctly identified the flash symbol and managed to turn off the flash. The user who was confused by the D-pad stated,
"Do I press it or do I turn it? Like, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with this thing."
She stated she'd like to see directional arrows pointing out that it is a directional pad and not a knob.
Yeah.
The simple addition of these arrows would provide for proper affordances and avoid initial confusion with the product's function. In Tasker Flow 2, participants were asked to change the time on the camera to reflect their travel to Chicago. All participants made the correct assumption in pressing menu. They quickly identified the tools icon and navigated to it by pressing right on the D-pad. However, instead of selecting time zone, they selected time set, which they were able to successfully complete, however, was not the proper end to this flow. Participants, when prompted to go to the time zone setting, got very confused by the 3 items they could select, especially because they could switch the time zone without setting the proper time zone that they were in. This especially confused them when they did set the time zone, yet the change did not reflect in the camera.
Okay, I'm gonna push function set. And be like, that's what I want.
This
so
isn't
I don't need
design,
to.
this is
I know that. So I can tab over this, yes?
You can. Yes.
Okay. I tab over to that, and then I guess that means this line is now down here.
Let me get it.
Okay. So then I go through, and I assume once I'm here.
What button do you press?
I'm gonna hit.
Participants wanted more direct manipulation of the time zones and did not want separate actions for time and time zone selection.
That menu?
That menu.
Yeah.
So
There's just time, current time, and time zone. That's all that matters.
So you just have that world menu.
And then current time, like maybe in the corner. That's all it is.
In Task 3, participants were asked to set the shooting mode to something that would reflect the current weather patterns of snow in Chicago. Participants found this particularly difficult as the camera did not expose these features.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just like all the presets. Snow, really? Because like, okay.
2 of the 3 participants assumed incorrectly that these functions existed under the focus setting, which was an easy mistake given the mountains and the flowers, which could be mistaken for preset modes.
Jesus, I really don't. Oh, that button. That button right there.
That is once prompted that that was an incorrect choice, participants correctly moved to the function and set key. The camera hides these under the function set button all the way across in a separate menu that has to be activated by the menu button, from which presets can be selected and found. This task proved particularly difficult to participants, and no participant was able to complete this task without prompting. This low completion rate prompted a discussion about how they would gain access to this feature set on the camera.
Yeah, an arrow, and you keep going.
Keep going on there. And so kind of have one sort of half over like that. Right?
Yeah. And then you can... There should just be a manual automatic. That's it. Then there should be a whole nother thing for play with shit.
Two of the three participants in this study wanted direct access to these features via a dedicated button on the camera body.
This is print, right?
That is print.
That's another.
A screen that has all of these settings. Would you want to have like a button for these presets, or what would you do, or where would you expect to find this, or how would it?
I mean, if it was just another option within this menu, like alongside here or over here, that would be okay. Or if it was another button, that would also be fine. I don't know. I think another button might be better because I feel like people use this a lot.
Okay.
Some of these other things are a little bit more esoteric. Like I didn't know what some of that stuff was. But like this kind of thing, I mean, people like just taking family pictures would want to know. And they don't really care about other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed. In task 4, participants were prompted to take a time lapse of themselves building a snowman. All three participants were not aware that cameras could do a time lapse, and incorrectly assumed that the function existed under the camera mode. All tapped the self-timer / continuous shooting button, which was incorrect for this flow. After being prompted that that was the incorrect function, all participants switched the mode to video. Once on the proper mode, they did correctly assume that function set is where they'd find that setting. Participants did recognize the iconography for the time-lapse video, which was a combination of a video camera and a self-timer. Upon realization, they quickly understood, but struggled to change the time interval in getting the concept of navigating downward. Participants' mental models did not match the camera. They wanted to do this under the camera mode, as it is a series of snapshots. However, the camera placed this under a video mode. In task 5, participants were asked to play back the video that they just took. Participants correctly assumed that they needed to switch the camera mode to playback. However, they were overwhelmed with the options presented once they hit the function set button to play back.
Ooh, complicated. Let's see.
So it's not. Sometimes it's just like automatically plays.
Would you want it to automatically play?
No.
Okay.
But I don't see any kind of button that looks obviously like I mean, Jesus. Is this something I can scroll through?
Task 6 was to simply delete the video. Task 6 was easy for all users to complete. They simply located the trash can icon and pressed it and confirmed deletion. Findings indicated that in order to create a better experience for Canon SD1000 users, we need to create affordances that indicate a directional pad rather than a knob while maintaining Canon's brand. Bring access to presets to the front stage instead of burying them under menus. Present iconography that is representative of what actions do to photographs and video. Additionally, it's very key to prevent feature creep from creeping into the experience of basic users who just want to take a photograph.